Please, it is yet another edition of Heart to Heart. I am so ready to have this conversation. We're going to be chatting with Anna about loving your skin. She is a certified registered esthetician. So, of course, she works with skin every day. People have all types of skin things going on. I know for myself, I've dealt with some hyperpigmentation. I've had acne, especially like hormonal acne stuff. So we're gonna just have a chat with her. And what I love about these chats is they are so real. They are in real time. Like you ain't gonna get nothing else like it. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Hey Anna, how are you doing?
Good, Myra. How are you?
Doing well for a Monday. I got all dressed. I got hyped today, you know.
I
I
know.
had to
I'm
put
feeling
on
it.
I put on my pink. You know, I gotta like do it up.
I love it. I know. I'm sitting comfy on my couch, but I'm ready to like keep going. I love it.
Yeah, comfortable on. Do you know what the couch does to me? It
Hmm.
sucks me up every night. Like I end up falling asleep and some because like me and my boyfriend will be watching a movie and then I'll fall asleep and then I'll have to rewatch the ending of the movie the next day because I fell asleep on the couch. I'm like,
I
that's,
know. I have this big comfy couch. Maybe it's not the most appropriate setting, but I'm not feeling sleepy. I think I'm good. I got the sun shining
yeah,
in. It's good.
I think that's good. Well, tell me first of all, what does it mean to love your skin? What does that mean personally for you?
Yeah, personally for me, I mean, at first it was like, oh, I'm gonna love my skin despite the acne or despite the pores, or I'm gonna always love like the physical appearance of it. But I think I've needed to shift that image of loving your skin to more so of like, I love my skin because it keeps me protected, because it means I can walk outside and not get destroyed by the sun's rays or wind. I love my skin because it's an external messenger of what's going on the inside. It's taking all these internal cues and showing me like a visual physical representation of the inside. So that's really what loving the skin means to me. It's not about always accepting the visual appearance of it or the aesthetics of it. It's more so loving it for the features that it has in terms of like just protecting your whole body and being like your largest organ and a part of this huge moving so this huge moving part of your body.
That's kind of cool. Now, how would you say, I love how you describe the skin as a protector. How has your skin protected you, like specifically?
Yeah, I definitely didn't let it protect me. I was kind of like really just trying to beat it down. It was trying its hardest for a long time to send me messages like, hey, something's not going right here internally, with the way you're treating yourself, eating and not sleeping and not taking care of yourself and constantly beating yourself up. It was trying to send me those messages through acne popping up, skin sensitivities. And I wasn't listening to it for a while, and I used so many different products. And then, it got to the point where my skin, I think, was just like, okay, girl, like, I don't know what else to say. And that was kind of like rock bottom when I had like persistent acne. Even after going to esthetician school, I'm like, oh, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything that the books say. Um, but I wasn't listening to it. So I definitely think its goal was to try and protect me by delivering a message, but I don't think I was listening for a long time.
So when did you listen? When did you listen to your skin? At what point?
It was, you know, definitely in the beginning of my aesthetics journey when I was having clients and they were having the same concerns that I was. And I felt like I really couldn't help them. I couldn't help them by like, giving them the skincare protocol that's supposed to help with acne, or, you know, all these different products and treatments. I knew that they weren't working for them because they weren't working for me. And I was like, okay, now I need to dig deeper.
Mm.
So it was when I realized, like, what am I doing? Like, skincare is my passion. I love skin. I want to help people. So it was in the beginning of my aesthetics journey where I was like, I need to dig a little deeper, and did a whole bunch of like research, outside research, um, and left kind of like the conventional teachings behind for a second.
So, on this path of discovery, especially after you were in aesthetic school and you knew a lot, and now you're trying to assist your clients and even yourself further, what did you discover in this outside research? Because I know you kind of alluded to it already, like how you were eating, how you were treating your skin, all of like the inside stuff. What were some of the discoveries?
Yes. So there's so many. I have my little skincare pyramid, which I love because, like, you have the mental at the bottom, right? Like, that's your foundation. So that's the way you speak to yourself, how you view yourself. That's creating the foundation, right? And then in the middle, you have your daily habits, your lifestyle habits. So, how often you're working out, and how often are you eating enough? Are you eating nutritious foods? Are you sleeping well? And then at the very top, to be like the cherry on top, is like your skincare products. They can definitely help, and they kind of take you to the next level. Um,
Right.
but I think what I learned most importantly throughout this journey was that foundation. Because then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm eating everything right. I'm working out. I'm sleeping. I'm drinking all my herbal teas. I'm being healthy. But I realized, and I noticed this for myself, and I noticed this with almost every single one of my acne clients, there's that root cause and root kind of trigger of like, no matter what I was doing, it wasn't going to be good enough because I wasn't good enough for myself. I wasn't living up to my expectations. I had this sense of perfectionism, and I was self sabotaging. It was like, I'm eating this food because it's going to be good for my skin, or I can't eat that because it'll be bad for my skin. As opposed to, like, what do I want? You know, like, what do I want to eat? What makes me
Yes.
feel good? What, you know, what makes me, you know, enjoy the whole process, as opposed to scrutinizing myself and, you know, nitpicking things. So I think the biggest lesson throughout that whole journey is like, yes, there are foods that can help, and there are certain regimens that you can follow. But at the core, if you don't believe that your skin's going to heal, if you don't believe that you're worthy of having clear skin, you're not going to clear your skin. That's just what I've found.
That is so true because I had a similar personal experience when I went through Sacred Woman several years ago. It was a 12-week program where she has you, it's this lady called Queen Afua. People on here, they know who she is because she's been around for 40 years, but she has you go through this deep wellness plan for 12 weeks. Like, it's wound healing, it's skin healing. And what I noticed is just what you said, because I was doing the work on the inside, and like Create Your Blue Zone says, belief is key. I noticed my skin started to improve. And I'm going to ask you a question about this too, because this is something recent I noticed about myself. Just like you said, I've been getting on myself like, Elmira, you're eating too much of this, or you shouldn't have had that donut. That's the reason why you got that pimple, girl, and all of this stuff. So what I was noticing with myself is I've been creating some of this stuff by punishing myself for eating certain food. How do we do that? And why do we do that? Why do we punish ourselves for like enjoyment of food?
Gosh, I wish I had like an actual logical answer for that. Like, why would we actually do that? But I think there's just like been so much conditioning and like about, diet culture and eat this to be healthy. And I think there's trying to be a shift in like food culture, like, oh, we're just being healthy now. But I still have found it to be very restrictive and kind of like fear mongering, like, this is so bad for you, like, don't eat that or you're gonna die. And it's like, oh my God, like, I think I'm gonna die
Right?
just from the stress, of like, what do I
Right.
eat? Yeah. So, I don't know. And I'm thinking back, I totally relate to like the beating yourself up, and then that's what causes the pimple, not the ice cream or the cookie, because in reality, it can take like a month for a food sensitivity to show up in the skin. So very rarely are you going to eat something and break out the next day or even the next week. And it can be possible, but I tend to notice, like, for me personally, it's that stress that can pop up immediately. I wake up the next morning looking like groggy and, just totally, just because I'm hyper analyzing what I've done. I actually went on a trip a few months ago to Chicago with my partner, and I told myself, I'm like, I'm just gonna eat whatever, because it was like a
Yeah.
weekend trip. I'm not gonna stress about whether the is going to break me out or not, whether or not the water is going to upset my skin. I'm going to be sleeping on different sheets with different detergent, because I have like skin sensitivities as well. So I get very itchy and like inflamed even when I'm not breaking out. But I told myself, I'm like, I'm resilient. Like, I'm fine. Like, this is a weekend. I'm having fun. And I left that weekend without like a single breakout, without a single skin sensitivity, where every other vacation I would be like, I couldn't even enjoy myself because I was so hyper focused on not eating the wrong thing or, dreading the breakouts that were going to ensue. But that this last one to Chicago, I shifted my mindset and I still did the same things. I still ate the same things.
Mhm.
I wasn't sleeping at all. We were out all night, but like I was convinced. I was like, I have to show myself like my mind has the power right now. And it did. So yeah.
That's so cool what you just said, Anna. My mind has the power, and that's what I get people to understand with what I do. Like, your breakup is your breakthrough. You can look at this breakup or the breakout, because we talk about breakouts too. You can look at it as like a death sentence. Oh my gosh, I can't go out. Because what if that happened to you while you were in Chicago? You would have been like, here we go again. But you told yourself, my mind has the power. I don't have to get sensitivity to these things, new sheets, I'm eating this food, we're staying out late all night, all of that stuff. I want to go back to what you described, because your pyramid is so key. And I know you help your clients with this immensely. It's kind of cool that the foundation, just like we put foundation on our face, the makeup, is the mental. Like, why is that foundation so much more important than the Lancome or the CoverGirl or all of this stuff? Why is that foundation important?
I think because it really, we know that we can set our own narrative, right? So like if we have a certain outlook, things tend to fall into that. So if I'm looking at everything as a potential trigger for my skin and always looking out for, bad things and things that are going to cause sensitivity, they're going to pop up. If I'm instead looking out for like, this is looking for things that make me feel good, and I know make my skin feel good, but first and foremost, what makes me feel good? What makes me feel full and satiated but not bloated? What makes me feel good is sleeping 10 hours a night. What makes me feel good is going on a daily walk. So these lifestyle habits fit in, but you have to have the mindset of like, I'm looking for the good in life, not the bad. I'm not looking for the triggers. I'm looking for what brings things to my life, not prevents the bad stuff. I think there's like, and there's a really interesting study too, and I can't like paraphrase it exactly, But basically, they give two groups milkshakes. And they're the
Mm-hmm.
same milkshake. They tell one group that this milkshake is super healthy, it has all these greens in it and probiotics. And then they tell the other group that this is just your conventional milkshake with ice cream and, sugar, but it was the same milkshake. The group that was told that it was healthier, they did tests on them afterwards, and the cholesterol and blood sugar levels did not spike as much as group B, who were told that they were drinking an unhealthy, sugary milkshake. Now, that's not to say, oh, we can drink milkshakes as long as we're like, all like,
Right.
oh, it's an amazing, healthy milkshake, right? But it's insane how much like our mind has power over our body, and to try and find the like bring it into unison, just finding what feels good as opposed to avoiding what feels bad.
And I like what you just said, like, because a lot of times in life we'll do just that. We'll want to avoid the bad stuff. Because I know I work part-time at the Waffle House. And you know me, I'm a health like conscious person. And people asked when I first started, like, how you gonna work there? You gonna eat the food? You gonna do this? Why are you serving people this bad food? But it's your belief. It is your belief around what is this food? What is it doing? And so I eat the food there. Like I'm gonna enjoy me a waffle every now and then, or if I want a piece of bacon, like I don't eat pork all the time, but what I call myself is a conscious eater because I pay attention to what I eat. And you're talking about the study with the milkshake. I'll have a milkshake if I want a milkshake. I'm not just going to deprive myself. It's like, oh my gosh, it's going to make me sick.
Right.
It's going to make me sick because those thoughts, like you said, the foundation is the mental, the thoughts, the belief. How has this pyramid helped you with your clients? Because I know you have a totally different approach than I've seen with a lot of other estheticians. How has that strategy helped your clients?
Yeah, I think, and it differs from client to client because sometimes clients, very rarely do clients come in and I'm like, oh gosh, like it's the products you're using, like just stop using all of that. That is like, a scenario that could happen. Um, but I really think for the majority of my clients, sometimes I do work top to bottom still. Like I'll
Mhm.
ask, what products are you using? How have they been working? Usually they're products that I personally would like and use, and I don't think they're an issue. And then they go into lifestyle, and I ask, how I'm more concerned if people are eating enough as opposed to the wrong things,
Right.
especially with women. I think there's a huge trend of like under eating because we're busy or whatever, so many different reasons. But I'm asking how much they're eating, how much they're moving, how much sleep they're getting, and usually they tend to be pretty healthy answers. And then we get to the bottom, the base of the pyramid, and it's like I start asking questions like, how long have you been dealing with this? Like, how are you viewing your skin? And most of the answers are that it's chronic, that they've been dealing with it forever, that
Hmm.
they hate their skin. It's so frustrating. I don't know
Wow.
what's wrong. I have tried everything. And these are all feelings that I relate to. And they still pop up. It's like, I think people dealing with like chronic skin issues like acne, they tend to be like me, like perfectionists and overanalyzers, and have this base level of just like anxiety and stress going on. So, you know, using the pyramid with my clients, I kind of do work top to bottom asking questions because I like to know, where's everything at. But I really like to, you know, convey that you can be doing everything right with the skincare, and you can be working out and going on walks and eating healthy. But if you're convinced that your skin is terrible,
Hmm.
that it's against you, that you can't do anything right, that's where we need to dig a little deeper and see where those beliefs come from and how maybe we can shift those beliefs.
And yeah, the beliefs definitely need to be shifted. And something I heard in how you responded and how you're able to dig deep with your clients is comparison. Do you think some of the beliefs we have about our skin are comparing it to, oh, I saw this person on the Vogue magazine, or that person in the ad, their skin looked like this. Why can't my skin look like that? What do you say? What do you say about the comparison and the skin competition? Especially we're right here on Instagram where we got glossies, we got filters, we got all kinds of stuff.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's so real because I feel it still to this day. I have to limit my time on social media. I have to limit my time um, scrolling through other estheticians' work and what they do because I'm like, I see, even though they're performing skin treatments that I would never perform, like a dermaplane with a peel, with a microdermabrasion, and just sloughing everything off, but the result is immediately like this hyper glowy, filtered skin. And I compare myself to that. I'm like, I'm not providing results like that, but you have to remember that these are immediate satisfaction results.
Mm-hmm.
And same with like a filter and everything. It gives you that immediate gratification, but down the line, it's just going to wreak havoc. It's just going to make things worse. And I have seen up close perfect skin that very like has a sheen to it, poreless. It is the most depleted and sensitive skin that I see in my treatment room. So, aesthetically,
Can you pause right there and tell me, what do you mean by that? What do you mean it is the most depleted skin? Because I want to know.
yeah. So I get people coming in and they are on the retinols and the glycolic acid and they do peels and they dermaplane and they're just constantly exfoliating the skin because like I said, it gives that immediate effect of like feeling smooth. But once you get up close, it's depleted, it's dry. There's like a lack of color. It feels like it can go one of two ways. Typically, it feels like very hot to the touch, like inflamed. Sometimes it can feel very like cold and like not healthy. A lot of what I do when I'm doing a skin
Wow.
analysis is very like sensory. Like, what am I seeing? What am I feeling? And typically, it's dry, but there's a production of oil on top. So there's this imbalance that's going on, and it's reacted to everything I use on it. So even if I use the most gentle cleanser or the most gentle mask, it like erupts. It's hot, it's sensitive, it's stinging, it's burning. So that's what I mean by that. Yeah.
That's but that falls in line with what we're talking about today. Like, looks can be deceiving. Like, loving your skin is just deeper than, oh, it looks like it glows, but once you actually do your analysis, it's not really glowing because it's
Right.
a lot of stuff going on underneath. It's like, what's really going on underneath? And brings me to my next question. How important is the other skin? Because most of the time we focus on our face, like, but then we neglect our legs or our feet or this, what you call this area, decolletage, how you say
I
this?
I say décolleté. It's the décolleté.
Decolletage, the decolletage. Like, why do we ignore the rest of the skin? I mean, we got all this skin, but we want to do stuff to the face. Tell me
Yeah.
more.
I'm honestly guilty of this. I have to be really strict on like applying my body oils and body butters on my whole body right after the shower,
Mm-hmm.
um, just to lock in all that moisture. But, something, I guess this is visible to everybody. And that's another thing. It's like, why do we just care about what's most visible as opposed to just the health of our skin as a whole? Because the skin in our body is still exposed to things. It needs support. Um, yeah, like I said, I I'm still guilty of it though. It's hard because there's just so much more space, and our skin is on our face is a little different than the skin on our body. Our body skin in most parts is a little bit more resilient, but to me that just shows that it needs even more care, you know, with moisturizing and keeping it intact and healthy.
So to love your skin, how often would you recommend someone visit you or esthetician like you?
Yeah, for in-person facial treatments, I recommend every 4 to 6 weeks, especially if we're working towards something. If we have a goal in mind, every 4 to 6 weeks, we can really just kind of get things rolling. And after that, it can be maintenance. If you don't have as many concerns, or, you know, you're still wanting to come in but can't come in as frequent, I think seasonally can also be a great option as well, because not only am I performing the treatment, like doing the exfoliation, maybe extractions, maybe putting on a nice mask and the massage and all that kind of stuff, because I think the massage is like the most healing part of the facial. That's so healthy for the skin. Not only am I doing all of that, but I am analyzing your skin. And our skin shifts, you know, it shifts with the seasons, it shifts with each year that we age. And it shifts because we're in different life stages and we have different things going on. So, and that's good because our skin's adaptable, but sometimes we can be tweaking our routine, tweaking our lifestyle to make sure things are lining up with where we're at.
That's so cool about because I've noticed that with my skin too, especially I moved. Well, not only did I move in the spring from Tennessee to Atlanta, there was a lot of shifts, like emotional stuff going on too, which brings me to ask you about it, because I personally want to know too, because we know how the beliefs and the mental and our thoughts about our skin affects what's going on at different stages of our life. How can something like a breakup affect the skin?
Yeah.
Because that's what I help clients with.
Gosh, I mean, a breakup feels like, and I've experienced it, it feels like a death. Like, it feels you're grieving. It's your heart. Oh, pain. So bad. But the stress that happens, those feelings of grief, we're looking at our foundation, right? Our mental. Typically, I mean, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but when I've gone through a breakup, it's like, well, nothing else matters. I lost the one and only person. There's no one else out there for me. It's never going to get any better. I'm going to live like this forever and ever in grief and sadness and misery. So there, we've addressed the foundation. We're not having the best outlook on life, I don't think, during a breakup. And then our coping skills tend to be a little bit more numbing, you know, and that can be as extreme as you may get, scrolling, you know, numbing in whichever way, whatever your vice is, you know, and those tend to not have a good effect. But yeah, as far as, you know, how to handle your skin while you're also handling a breakup, that is just the best time to be gentle with it. Anytime that you're going through a stressful situation, you know, grief is high, sadness is high, your body's not functioning as, you know, even a sickness, right? When your body's not as functioning to its optimal level, that is the best time to be gentle. I don't do any exfoliation. I reduce cleansing. I apply more oils and more moisturizer, just really focusing on nourishing the topical skin. Now is not the time to start any sort of like new skin treatments. You just want to work on calming and nourishing things. Nourishment is probably my key word for that. So yeah.
You said it, because that's kind of what I teach my clients, because it's almost like we got to draw the similarities between our skin and what's going on in our life. Because if you need nourishment because you're heartbroken, you feel like you said, you described it, the pain, I've dealt with it myself many times. That's why I help my clients with it, because I know how to get over it. And nourishment is the best thing, because one of the things I noticed about myself when I get like highly stressed, and this showed up, it was this spot that showed up just out of the blue on my skin during the worst breakup of my life. Like, it's just this spot. So anytime I get stressed, the spot will show up again. And here recently, it has showed up again. And here's why. Because I have undergone a lot of change like these past several months. And so you are speaking directly to me about just being nourishing to my skin. Apply some oil. Don't try to be rough with it, because that's how we do with life. We tend to do that with life, where we overreact and we want to, and this is what I tell my clients too, and I'm sure you would agree. We want it to be better right now. Like, we want the acne to go away, the rosacea, the eczema, like, take it away, take it away. But no, be kind, be gentle, nourish it.
Yes, totally agree. I think once we start, like, and I think that's also something we like to do when we're going through a breakup or a big change. We're like, oh, I need to change everything. I need to cut my hair. I need to, like, get a new wardrobe. I need to, like, change everything about myself. And I think that can be, like, very superficial, like trying to cope with change, like acting like we have some sort of control over it, when in reality we really feel like we don't have control. We're feeling out of control. But yeah, it's just really not the time to go sloughing things away. It's time to, like, sit with yourself, care for what you have, and then maybe in a few months, once we get back in gear, we can start incorporating some new stuff to shed away the old, bring in the new. But in those immediate times of grief, you cannot look for, and like stress or whatever it may be, you can't look for the quick fixes, because you're just taking 10 steps backwards to try and, like, haul your way up a mountain once you get back to the point when you are ready to heal, because you would have done so much damage with just trying to, like, strip things away, for sure.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that damage, because then you got to work even harder to to do more. What do you have coming up, Anna? Like, do you have any specials going on? Are you teaching any classes? How can people link up with you?
Yeah, for sure. If they're in Cleveland, come to Bodhi in Tremont. That's where I perform facial services in person. But I'm also offering a free 30-minute consultation for my virtual services. So it's on my Instagram. If you go to the link in my bio, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation. We can start getting into what your concerns are, and maybe looking a little bit deeper. If you feel like you've tried everything, I'm gonna offer, like, another route to that I've tried everything. I think there's one more thing that you could try, and we'll kind of dive a little bit deeper in that. And that's the best place that you can kind of connect with me, and we can get the ball rolling from there. Thank you, Erica. Hi,
Somebody,
Erica.
somebody said she's awesome.
Erica's the best. She's my client. She's
Awesome.
too. She's
So
putting in the
y'all
work.
need to say that again.
Erica's awesome. She's putting in the work, because it's definitely, we don't do quick fixes. It's a journey.
Well, y'all got it right here on Heart to Heart, and you heard it from Erica, one of Anna's clients. So y'all need to make sure you contact Anna, and she can be reached two ways. Virtually, for those of you who do not live in Cleveland, Ohio, because I know I have people watching this internationally, she can connect with you. Y'all heard her level of expertise. That's one of the things I love about Anna. You're so wise. I just think you're wise. You're a wise. No, like, I'm just being honest. Like, you have a lot of wisdom when it comes to these things, because you've done the work on yourself, not just with your skin, but the skin is just an outer representation of the internal work that we've done. Like we said, we built that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you contact Anna. It's what, Elemental Esthetician, is that correct?
Yeah,
On Instagram?
Instagram is elemental.esthetician. And I also have, you can email me for more direct content or contact, quicker contact would be theelementalesthetician@gmail.com.
All right, y'all get in touch with Anna, and we will see you all next Monday for another edition. Bye. Enjoy your day.
Bye. Thank
And
you.
thank you.